Hello, here we are.
Well, hello there.
Greetings, people of the interweb.
Well, hello there.
And people of the future interwebs.
Yes, indeed.
It was simulcasting.
We are. I've got a GoPro down here. You can't see, but
Yeah, we're not looking at wood.
I beg your pardon.
We are looking at wood.
Yeah. Simon's waving his wood in my face,
Yes,
which is
exactly.
it's quite surreal being in this room. Even though I've been to your house many times before, I've never actually been upstairs. So
Is it like you broke the third wall?
I've broken something, but your car nearly.
All's well that ends well.
Indeed. More on that in various videos.
But welcome, people. We thought we'd do a bit of a live stream to discuss the hot topic of the week, which seems to have got all the internet people's blood boiling and not on my watch type.
And we're not
attitudes.
talking about inheritance tax on farms.
No, I don't think so.
No,
I ain't got a farm with you.
No.
Why have I got that funny voice again?
It's not that channel today. No, this is serious.
Serious. Yes, we're talking about Jaguar and their rebrand and what people think of it. And I mean, my point, I'll ask you the question. That's how these things normally work. Do you think this is the right time for this kind of rebrand?
Shall I just go off on one?
Just go off on
Yeah.
one.
So
I'm gonna pick this up so I look like a proper.
So I don't like it.
You don't like
I don't like it. I
don't like it.
I don't know what it's telling me.
Yeah.
What have we? When did Jaguar actually form? It was Swallow Sidecar Company, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then they
20s,
changed it
so
because like SS is a bit dodgy. At that time.
1930s, 1940s, properly. It's called Jaguar. I want to see a Jaguar, a big cat.
Well, that's coming next, isn't it? So the rebrand they've done is just phase one at the moment.
Right.
So the beginning of December, I think it's December the 3rd, is when they launched the next bit, and apparently there is a leaping logo.
Probably a bloody unicorn.
It could be a unicorn, although that'd mean it'd be Scottish because that's the Scottish animal, isn't it?
It is. So I don't like it. It's like cringe. I think whatever people think, Jaguar have done what they set out to do because everyone's talking about it.
Yeah.
And if I don't know how I'm not a marketing or PR person, but I would guess if you get everyone talking about something, all publicity is good publicity.
Exactly.
So even when you got the BBC, when you're getting notifications from the BBC News app on your phone about it, it's out there. What do I think? I think it's a metaphor for Britain.
Oh! Now we're getting deep.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to get hate for this, but I don't care. So I think obviously Jaguar Land Rover is a subsidiary of Tata.
Yes.
And the car industry is in turmoil. Ford, I believe, is in trouble. You've got the behemoths of Stellantis, which is now a massive car automotive group.
Rover are all right though, aren't they?
Oh, they'll be fine. Yeah. So you've got Stellantis, and you've got the Chinese march with these I mean, they're what they're doing with EVs it's like scary.
They're just churning them out though, aren't they? They are. That's a separate conversation.
But that's what all these car manufacturers are up against.
Yes.
Stellantis. This is my theory. So I'm not saying this is fact, but you've got Stellantis, you've got the Chinese MG, BYD, plus all the components that the Chinese are making.
Yeah.
So all the other car companies are going, shit, we need to do something about this. So I think Jaguar Land Rover's paymasters have gone, you need to sort this out.
Yeah, you need to bring in the pennies.
And
because there's only the Land Rover side that's actually making a profit. Jaguar haven't made a profit for years.
You've also got the issue. So Jaguars, they obviously stopped making internal combustion engines. Their 2-litre internal combustion engine, the Ingenium, is a weak engine. So that's done them a lot of damage because they've had a lot of warranty issues with that engine. Shitting timing chains.
I know somebody that had a used one, and Jaguar actually paid to have the engine swapped in it.
A friend of mine got brand new Defender. She's got a 3-litre one, so the engine's all right, but they can't deliver the Defender with the right windscreen. But back to I think that it's the default position that British institutions and companies take now.
Yeah.
So things are going wrong. It's got to be diversity, equality, and inclusion. It's got to be one of those issues.
Yeah.
Bollocks. Make something well.
And people will buy it.
People will buy it.
So there's nothing wrong with diversity and inclusion and all that kind of new age stuff. But I think it seems to be the thing that people have got a problem with Jaguar is that isn't the Jaguar brand. And it is such a departure from what, when you think of Jaguar, you think E-Type, you think is it XJ220, you think James Bond films for a short period of time.
Yeah.
But when you see this new advert, which I'm still skeptical about, I'm sure there's going to be more substance behind it, but it just appears to be a hollow sort of facade at the moment. I'm sure there'll be more to it, but yeah, that's not the traditional Jaguar. But having said that, they've not been selling Jaguars, so what's point in carrying on doing something that nobody's buying?
Yeah, I think it's where you and I probably disagree something. I think they've got, keeping the. Okay, I don't expect to see leapers on the front of cars, but I think that the cat face. It's you hit on a good point about the lineage. The XKs, the E-Type, the XJS. What came after that?
The
XKR or XK.
Oh yeah. I do like them.
And then the F-Type, which I think is one of the best.
It's almost Aston Martin looking.
It is, 5-litre V8 engine. I think.
Yeah.
It's a proper Grand Tourer.
Yeah. That is like the modern E-Type.
Yeah, it's the successor. And now, they started going wishy-washy with the F pace and the E pace and.
You see that I think that's a market thing as well, isn't it? Because you've got Lotus, you've got Porsche, you've got Lamborghini, Alfa Romeo are all doing SUVs, and they're all edging towards electric SUVs. So they kind of, I suppose Jaguar find themselves between a rock and a hard place. They can't sell to the people that like the old branding because nobody's buying them. They're not buying them, and they can't sell to newer people that would be tempted by the SUVs and the, like you mentioned, cars from China, like the MG of before and the MG of now. They're two different entities, really. The brand is a different brand, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because the products that they sell are not the same as what they used to sell, to a certain degree. Where are I going with this? I don't know. But yeah, Jaguar have kind of found themselves between a rock and a hard place, so they've got to evolve. But is this the right evolution? I suppose that's the question.
I think it will. There's so many companies that are going all in on electric.
Yeah,
and I still this 2030, getting rid of petrol and diesel by 2030.
It's not going to work.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
No,
there'll still be petrol and diesel on the pump on the forecourts in 20-25 years time. I think. And it's got to be.
Well, they asked for me.
Yeah.
And you.
And me. I'll still be my ZT. And what will I be in 25 years' time? Getting on for
older.
70. Probably, I will be 70. I don't, electric cars are still expensive. They're still write-offs if they go wrong, pretty much.
Yes.
You've got the issue with 17-year-old kids, and then what staggers me is that's another conversation about kids not wanting to learn to drive. I don't get it, but that's another rant for another time. But you're not going to, unless mummy and daddy are wealthy, you're not going to have an electric car as your first car.
No,
it's going to be a Fiesta, Micra, Peugeot 107.
Although we are getting to that kind of time now. So if you think back, the Nissan Leaf is getting on a bit. The Renault Zoe is getting on a bit. So there are going to be used ones of those around. But again, then it comes back around to the reliability of electric cars after the warranties ran out, because it's like having they are, I don't know, everybody says it, but they're like mobile phones now.
Yeah.
They're just a throwaway commodity.
Yeah, which is sure. I don't, and there's a lot of, but there's also, the elephants in the room with all this electric, the embodied car. Okay, over 10 years they probably are better, but there's a hell of a lot of carbon. Embodied carbon goes into making one. Plus, you've got the ethical issues around the lithium.
Yes, and the mining of the various metals and stuff.
Yeah.
And just how much material you have to mine to get a tiny amount of the precious metals for the batteries.
Yeah, so it's very carbon heavy. So going all in on electric, I think it's a mistake. I think I think BMW got a hydrogen car now, or they've certainly developed one. Toyota, I know, are very advanced with it. So,
yeah. Toyota have had them for, I'm sure it's nearly 20 years they've had them, but there's still only, I think there's like 16 hydrogen fuel stations in the UK. But
it's probably easier to roll out mass market than
definitely
electric.
I'm pretty sure you can use the same pumps.
Should we see what their viewers think?
I think there's about 4 people watching.
Brilliant. Hello, everybody.
So Udjudge is here and Fluffy Neck. And if you didn't know, Udjudge and Fluffy Neck are the same people, which is weird.
That's the rabbits watching.
Oh, it could be Sputnik. Yeah. Becky's here. Hello, Becky.
Hello, Becky.
I keep looking over.
I'm looking over there. It's just so weird being in this room.
And then Udjudge and Becky talk to each other, so we'll ignore that. And then Udjudge puts, my thoughts on the Jaguar rebrand is, which is a typically French reaction, to be honest.
Not very thoughtful, is it?
No, it's not. It's not very thought-provoking.
There we are.
I mean, we could share what this person said.
Simon's going to do something very technical.
I'm going to try and share a screen so everybody can see what we're talking about. This was better when I could use Microsoft Edge, but it won't let me do it at the moment. All right, let's do it that way.
In the bowels of Smashing Pistons. Not literally. That's
There we go. So, Jaguar boss condemns vile hatred after backlash to new advert.
Snowflake.
30-second, how current affairs that is, Snowflake.
Oh, yeah.
A 30-second clip posted on the luxury brand's X account, which for people of you that don't know what X is, it used to be Twitter, which I'm surprised it doesn't say that. Everywhere seems to say
owned
X.
by a politician, I believe.
Yes. One that didn't give money away to people to buy votes, which is very strange.
Yeah.
The managing director of Jaguar has hit out at what he called vile hatred and intolerance. I mean, I must say I have seen a bit of intolerance on some posts, but not all of them. Some of them are, this isn't Jaguar. Some of them are, who the fuck are these people kind of thing.
Yeah.
30-second clip, blah, blah, blah. I was just done that. It features a diverse group of models posing in bright clothes, but no vehicles or the iconic leaping big cat. It's been viewed 160 million times. And then Elon Musk commented on it, saying, do you sell cars? I mean, with Elon Musk at the moment, I wouldn't doubt that that's not a genuine comment, that he doesn't know what people do.
No,
it's hard to see when you're up your own arse that much.
And cocooned in Florida.
In Florida.
Mar-a-Lago.
Others claim the brand was going woke and reinventing to be on trend. I mean, that is quite a good phrase, reinventing to be on trend. That's marketing, as far as I can see. That is what marketing and branding is.
But then if you're going to charge good money for something, do you want to be necessarily on trend? Sometimes it's quite good to not be a la mode.
True, but
not everyone shops in Harrods.
That's because it's expensive.
Yeah, but they do their own. They do their own thing.
That is true. I suppose the flip side to that one is you'd go with the majority, and if they see the majority as being in demographic A, and they're currently in demographic probably like F, actually, or demographic E. We'll say demographic E. That makes more sense for Jaguar. They've kind of had to shift it towards demographic A, I suppose.
Possibly. I think, I mean, you're always going to get key. So whenever something like this, Jaguar is an iconic.
It is.
it's like a Mini. It's and you think of the uproar when
Mini,
when it became the Binny,
the Binny.
But it's a British brand. Like I know it's owned by an Indian company, but it's a British brand. And I think you're always going to get keyboard warriors with they're the same. It's the same people.
Yeah.
But I think that something with this is perhaps where you and I disagree is that this is stirred the silent majority, who are probably I think the silent majority are probably up to there with
everything else,
with all these other things going on, and they're like, right, that's it. Let's. We can't say anything about Keir Starmer because get in trouble for that. But we can have a go at Jaguar.
Do you think it's the straw that broke the Jaguar's back?
Possibly.
Right. Okay. So let's have a look. So they said also on Tuesday, Jaguar revealed a new logo as part of its rebranding and said it would launch 3 new electric cars in 2026. So you've got over a year to wait from anyway.
Can't wait.
But I do have issues with this. Not because it's Jaguar. And that I don't think that this represents Jaguar, just from an aesthetic point of view. The fact that it's got small a, and small r, and all the rest are capital. Well, maybe that's a capital. I think that just twists my melon, and I don't like it.
I think it's very weak.
It's crap.
What it reminds me of is the clothing. I don't know if it's still going. The clothing brand Jaguar.
Yes.
I don't know if they make men's clothes, but I know they certainly used to make women's clothes.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it looked if you glance because it's like the English way of doing an umlaut, Jae.
Yeah.
Jaguar.
Yeah.
It just looks like that.
It's just childish, I think. Yeah. I mean, again with these things, brand is always something that you can take a look at the identifications, like the font and the badges and whatever, but it's not until they're on a car that you can you get any sort of context to it, I suppose. So if you put font like that on a Kia, you'd think that's cheap crap. Yeah. You put it on a Rolls Royce and you'd be like, oh, look at that.
Yeah, I mean, who else? Actually, who else has kind of redone their brands? Like Peugeot have, but there's still no doubt it's still a Peugeot. You've got the Lions face, and Peugeot. It's just modernised.
It's kind of gone back a bit.
They've tidied it up. Seat have gone down this kind of. Oh, we'll do some Seat and some Cupra.
Yes,
that gets a bit confusing.
It's confusing.
Kia have gone from Kia to Kna, which it looks like Kna, doesn't it?
It does.
I think of some others. But the Chinese done something with it. MG hasn't really changed.
No, it hasn't. But then again, if it did, it'd be a waste of time and buying the brand.
Yeah.
So that's what they really got the hooks into.
So that's an iconic British brand. The British. It's not British brand now, but it's MG started in Britain.
Yeah.
So by God, we own it. But Jaguar is the same. It's iconic British brands, which
we don't own anymore.
Someone's ripped. They just ripped it up basically.
Yeah.
Unless something gets, something else comes along.
But we do get people that are in the MG Rover community that are pro new MG.
I know people with, Becky and Glyn, both ZSs.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Or HS and a ZS, but Steve. I think Stephen. I'm trying to think of other.
There's someone that got an MG3. I can't remember who that is.
Yeah. And it's Jacob Stafford. He's got an MG3, and he's into the other MGs as well. So it's.
So there's a fair few people that are brand loyal, even though it's not the same car company.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there are some Jaguar brand loyal Jaguar people that will still be loyal to Jaguar in two years' time.
Too early to say. Proof of the pudding.
I mean, this is going to be funny if when they release these cars, they're actually really good cars. I mean, I can't see it. I see it being the opposite and they're just being Euroboxers. But it'd be really nice if there were one of them and and it was the kind of thing that you look at and you go, even if you didn't have badges, you'd go, that's definitely a Jaguar.
Do you know what? I think it's the fact they're going, we're going to do 3 electric cars. If they go, yeah, we're going to have an electric SUV, but we're also going to have a V8 Grand Tourer.
Yes.
Petrol.
Yeah.
People might be more forgiving because that's what. If I was going to go out and buy a Jaguar, I probably would buy a V8.
Yeah.
Don't know which. What could be an XJ, could be an XK.
Yeah.
If I had the money, could be an F-Type. But that's what I would go and buy. That's what I want from Jaguar.
Because that's what a Jaguar is to you.
I want a petrol V or straight, bigger, larger engine. Yeah.
GT car.
What's their original moniker? Grey Space Pace.
Yes, that's it.
Grey Space Pace.
Not sidecars.
No. Swallow sidecars. Very painful. I think we've got some more substantive comments.
Christ. Let's have a look.
I think we still Becky's the first, isn't it?
So Becky says, can just see their boardroom with some in 2 tight jeans saying, look at the pretty colours, this will be brilliant. And the other just being mesmerised. I mean, possibly.
I reckon tight jeans and loafers with no socks.
Oof, that's...
And they'll be eating lentils as well.
While eating their buffets and being paid a fortune.
The buffets will be vegan.
The new brand letters have no personality, says the judge. It looks like it's ripped itself off all its history and become a fetus of a company. Now, that's an interesting take on it, because it is like a new start, because I don't know if other people know, Jaguar haven't sold a car in the UK for a year.
Yes.
This is all part of a thing that was issued in 2021, that they were going to do a rebrand. So it's not a new thing. It's new that it's come out now, but it's not a new idea.
Yeah.
So the idea of them not selling a car for a year is to have a clean break from the old Jaguar to the new Jaguar. So that is quite an interesting comment from someone who doesn't even like cars.
Well, but that makes the comment even more valid.
Exactly.
There's no, Julie's not got the passion.
She's not got any passion.
It's a dispassionate argument.
Poor Julie.
Which is it's unbiased.
It is unbiased.
Yeah.
Which is weird because she's normally really biased.
I mean, if Renault had done it, I would.
Oh, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Oh. She'd be shouting "Sacre bleu,
sacre bleu." Oh, no, better not say too early for medal. I just said it. What's Gaz on a trike saying?
He says, "Sorry, just being out trying to buy a new Jaguar. I've had the urge." Well, it all comes to us at some point.
Oh, yes.
Gaz. I mean, Gaz is still driving around in his standard 10, so
what a lovely car to have.
I can't see him being tempted by an electric Jaguar.
No.
Although there's them electric dogs, isn't there, that are patrolling
roaming around Mar-el-Lago.
Yeah. I thought that was quite cool.
Oh, they're sinister though.
I do like them.
I like them, but they're sinister.
I don't know what I'd do with one if I had one. I mean, if they were powerful enough for you to ride around on, that'd be cool.
That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Go down the pub and turn up at the pub in that. I mean, get out of my way. I'm on my electric Rottweiler.
You wouldn't even need a seat.
No.
Anyway, that was a diversion. Yes, it's like it doesn't want anything to do with anything the brand has achieved in the past. Seems disrespectful.
Again, very, very, very much a metaphor for Britain.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, there is always you have to move with the times sort of thing, but you don't always have to ditch everything you've already done.
But then, just change management. But yeah, if you've got an essence, which Jaguar, it's the cat face, the cat symbol, plus the grey space and pace thing.
There's no point in being called Jaguar if you've not got a Jaguar on your thing.
You must have taken a picture of one of your cats and have that on the front.
Yeah, that'd work.
Tabby.
Tomcat. Oh, somebody's already done that. No one was buying them anyway, says Gaz, so no to lose. Can't trade on the E-Type for eternity. We aren't talking about rust and unreliability now, though. That's true. That is true, because it was at the XJS that were built down to such a price that the electronics in them were terrible.
Yeah, XJ6 is. I mean, the XJ6 is terrible. Bodywork's terrible.
Is it?
Oh yeah, I mean, that's British Leyland.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, I'm sure with the XJS where they skimped out on the electrical connectors, so trying to save like 3p a connector, they just ended up being
like British
awful.
Leyland or Austin Rover or
how unusual. Yeah. And Fluffy Neck, who's a judge, I don't know whether she's just switching accounts for fun. Yeah, if Reynolds did that, I'd go on strike.
Well, there'd be manure in the. Imagine it, manure in the streets, in the hallway, up the stairs.
Oh, have you been to Julie's parents? Yeah. So, Jaguar. Have we got any other points of view on it?
I mean, I'm just kind of cringing with anticipation.
Cringing with anticipation. I think there's a picture. No, there isn't. Look, there's some bears and stuff.
And a lady drinking olive oil.
Yeah.
You think it's olive oil?
Yeah, well, there's not a picture.
If you haven't watched the advert, though, do go and watch it, and drop a comment down below.
How do I stop sharing?
Before you unsubscribe.
Yeah, tell us what you think in the comments.
Yeah. This is definitely a watch back one, isn't it?
Yes.
We haven't got the usual. We've got some of the usual suspects, but
Yeah. I mean, it is Sunday dinner time. People should be eating dinner
or lunch.
Yeah, depending on where you are, I suppose.
Yes, luncheon tides, as we call it down south.
Luncheon tide.
Luncheon tide.
What's tiffin? I kept hearing people saying tiffin.
Depend. Well, if you're watching a carry-on film, it's a euphemism.
Yeah.
But I think it's tiffins. Isn't tiffin lots of little snacks in a box?
Okay.
So it's an Indian.
Oh yeah. That'll be why you're
Indian
on.
snacks, but they all stack. There's some stackable boxes, and you've got like a morning tiffin, lunch or dinner time tiffin.
That'll be why we're on that carry on up the Khyber or everywhere.
Yeah. Sid James going for some.
Yeah, and he had to sleep with all them people, that person's wives.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Well, there we are. I think. Yes. Oh, hang on. We've got a late question.
Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, I forgot about that, Becky. What does everyone think of Jaguar joining the ZT75 group this week?
Nothing really. I don't care. I just people getting hissy fits about.
It is a bit weird.
Yeah, I don't know why they've done it. I mean, I'm guessing one of the admins has bought a Jaguar or something. It's like, oh look at me, I've got a Jaguar. And then everyone gets deranged about it.
Yeah,
it is possible to like
everything.
I mean, I would like to buy a Jaguar. I think my channel, the way it's going, a Jaguar would be a good car.
It would fit. It would fit.
I like drive. I like the Jaguars I've driven. I like Land Rovers.
Okay, you should buy Alex's.
No, it's a lightweight.
Oh.
I'd probably go for a later one just because they're a little bit easy to drive.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think a lot of it, to be honest. I tend to ignore. Personally, I tend to ignore Facebook rants and not get
drawn into
it because it's never. There's always going to be someone doing something controversial.
Yeah.
And someone having a paddy about it.
Yeah.
On Facebook, and that's never going to change. It's not just a car thing; it's everything.
Yeah.
I just think if you for the sake of your mental health, it's best not to get and your blood pressure and your heart rate. It's best not to get drawn into these things.
Personally, when I saw it, I thought it was just that somebody was giving Jaguar owners a forum to discuss stuff that was separate from the other Jaguar forums. But yeah, the more I think about it, the more it doesn't make sense. But I mean, if I can't see there being any Jaguar owners in it anyway.
There's no common. I mean, the Jaguar. I mean, Jaguars are either Jaguar based or Ford based.
Yeah,
Ford based.
Yeah.
There's no. When did Jaguars? Even when Jaguar was part of British Leyland, it was still very separate to Rover.
Yeah,
it was part of the same division as Rover, but I think there's very little commonality of parts. So there's, if someone put Jaguar X-Type in the a Mondeo group, that kind of works.
Yeah,
I have seen some comments about, should we have 3 Series BMWs in the group? But there's again the 75 ZT chassis is very different to the 3 Series chassis. I mean, the standard 75 chassis is front wheel drive. Yeah. Whereas a 3 Series
rear wheel drive
has got a chuffing great big transmission tunnel. And then before anyone says, the ZT V8 and the Rover 75 V8 had a rear wheel drive. Well, yeah, but they had to take those chassis off the line and
modify them,
hand engineer them to make them rear wheel drive. Yeah. So and
it's not like there's not already groups for BMW. So why mix it all together?
I'm in the BMW group. I'm in a couple of Jaguar groups, and I'm in lots of MG Rover groups. And
why is that?
I don't know. I hate MG Rover. No, I don't. But no, I don't get stressed about that kind of thing.
No.
But yeah, I just smile
as everything explodes. It's like that little meme with that dog in that room that's on fire. He's just sat there on his computer. Skick says, so many of the new MG believe they are really good value for money. Well, first of all, hello, Skick. We've not seen Skick for a while, have we? And I don't know about the value for money. I can honestly say I've not looked at how much they cost.
I think they're cheaper. They're the cheaper end of the market. I think you get a lot for your money. The worry I have, and this isn't me being spiteful. It's experience from people who've had them. Is when they go wrong, they can be quite problematic to put right.
Yeah.
Friend of mine had an MG GS, which was the mid 2015. Ish, larger, the big one, 1.5 turbo, quite quick, 160 odd brake force.
That's all right, isn't it? From a 1.5.
Yeah, but MG, so Perry's MG in Aylesbury couldn't actually diagnose this car, even though they're the main dealer, because apparently the Chinese they'll only give certain dealers the software.
Right.
And the same with the Cyberster. You can't buy an MG Cyberster from Perry's MG Aylesbury. But if you go to, I forget the franchise in Milton Keynes, so you only very select dealerships can do certain things.
I wonder why that is.
I think it's very controlled.
Okay.
Modern MG, but they're popular cars, and the red. I don't know what the red color is, but the red that I've seen say it's the same red on an MG3. I've seen it on an MG5. I've seen it on the Cyberster. The Cyberster that I drove the other week.
Oh yeah.
It's a beautiful color.
Is it a metallic?
It's pearlescent.
Pearlescent.
Beautiful color.
They do nice colors, which is kind of a bit of a throwback to the other MGs, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean if Nightfire or Firefrost, when it's in good condition, it's bloody lovely.
Yeah.
Before the lacquer flakes off.
That's a design feature, remember? Yeah. Dig Dastardly's here. He said, good afternoon. Had to have a double take with Rob being in person.
Well, hello there, Dick.
Dick.
Simon wants Dick.
Gaz says, they ain't got a car to stick the badge on. People don't want the Jag style to live with anymore. SUV luxury is where it's at. If they save Range Rover, they'll be lucky too. Well, I thought Range Rover were the only ones that are actually making money.
I think the Range Rover itself now, especially the Range Rover, I don't know, like SEs or whatever they call it. They're very, and they look like gin palaces on wheels. But I think that the new Defenders are, I think they're quite clever. When they first came out, I was like,
yeah.
Actually, the more you look at them, they're pretty cool.
I saw, because Rolls-Royce do an SUV now, don't they?
They do.
I saw one of those on the motorway the other day, and I thought it was one of the newer Defender things, because they look almost identical. Yeah. Even the colours.
And I saw that MG. I remember I messaged you about the Renault 5.
Oh, yeah.
Renault 5. I drove past me on the M40, and I was like, ooh, I like the look of that. Obviously, speeding off. I went to Mackie D's to get a cup of tea, and the same car was in there. It's the only one in the UK. It's a press car, and I was like, "Ooh!" And
it's the only one in the UK.
I looked inside, and it's like, "Oh," because It is literally a steering wheel and a touchscreen.
Which is what everything's going to be.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of like the Honda E, because it's got wraparound screens on dashboard.
I need to look at one of those. So.
Yeah, I do like them. I can't afford one though. What's Becky saying? Our new MGs are okay. Glenn's brother has brand new Volvo XC60 and it's riddled with electronic problems and cost twice the price. I had an XC60 for a couple of weeks. It was lovely, but wouldn't swap to HSs though. Well, I mean, Volvo are another one that have
Are they in trouble?
They've stopped making estate cars, haven't they?
Are they Stellantis? They're pretty are.
If you could both go back 40 years and buy a car and bring it back to the present, what would it be?
1984.
Yeah, 84. My first car were in 84.
Well, you could have a Triumph for claim.
Oh,
Very
God.
late one. No, you wouldn't. Well, I'd probably go for a Capri 2.8 injection. You know,
Are they the Mark 3
late
ones?
one? Yeah.
Yeah, I liked them.
Could be a Sierra 84.
Oh, yeah.
Why am I going for? See, Skick says go back 40 years, and I'd rather than going Austin Rover, which it was at that, I think by that time.
Yeah. You go for everything
Ford.
else.
I've gone Ford. It would be a Ford. I'm certain of it.
What about a Lamborghini Countach?
But don't call me that. No, I don't. I
Testarossa?
do like him.
Yeah.
Know someone with one. Yeah. Won't let me drive it.
I'd have a Beetle. There you go.
Are they still going in 1984?
Well, there were some around, weren't there?
Well, that's true.
They were definitely still making them in Mexico.
Yeah. You could have a very early Montego, which would obviously
Catch fire
and rust, dissolve. Maestro would have been a year old in 84.
That's true.
Metro was fairly new, fairly recent.
Mm.
Would I have had MG? Yeah, MG Metro.
Probably a Mini, to be honest.
So if anything from if it was Austin Rover, Mini, a 1275 Mini
GT,
or an MG Metro. Probably the.
Did they do the MG Turbo Metro at that time?
I think that was. I've got a feeling that's a bit
later.
A bit later.
We'll fudge the rules and say you can have it.
MG Metro Turbo.
Definitely.
Good question, Skip.
Yeah. Never mind all this Jaguar nonsense. How about a live rendition of Well Hello There with Rob playing himself and Simon playing the Hello bloke? No.
we need preparation.
Sounds complicated.
So maybe on a future live we'll do that.
And Udjudge, who now's changed from Fluffy Neck to Udjudge again, says, awesome idea, Dick. Please do that. Nope. Dick says, Rolls-Royce do an SUV.
Bentley do, Lambo, Alpha, they all do, don't they?
Yeah.
And why do they do it? Because people like Nissan, Kia started doing it. We started buying them. Everyone's, what a cash car, what a Sportage. It's our fault. It's not the car company's fault.
No, they're only making things we'll buy.
People have bought them. People have bought them because they want the car that looks like the four-wheel drive that's not a four-wheel drive.
Like the RAV4.
Yeah.
Skik would go for a Mark 1 Escort Mexico.
Okay, it's not necessarily a car built in the 80s. So, yeah.
So he's just bending his own rules.
I would go for a Mark 1 Escort Mexico anytime because I think they're gorgeous.
A 1984 Granada Mark 3 for me.
Mark 3, yeah, very nice.
Oh, Gaz has got some information. Ghoulgate. That sounds like some sort of horror film.
Ghoulgate. Is that in York?
Skullgate snobbery sells the Range Rover more than the history of the brand. When Lecky-powered SUVs become the ultimate status, then we will lose more than Jag. I don't know. Are we gonna get to a point in time where people don't own cars before that happens?
What do you mean when AI is as redundant as
pretty much, or just like when we go, like we've got these, like in Birmingham, they've got them little electric scooters that you can just go and hire and fly around.
You mean the granny killers?
Kind of like that, yeah. Which actually, me and Alex should have used one of them because it took us 40 minutes to drive.
Big old place that.
Yeah, it took us 40 minutes to drive from that think tank place to the Bull Ring because it was nose to nose traffic.
Well, it's centre, but it's the city centre.
Yeah, it was like 10 minutes walk.
Yeah.
We should have walked.
Yeah.
But yeah, are we good? Because we're going towards a society where people don't have cars anyway. Like you mentioned earlier about people not wanting to learn to drive.
Yeah, well, there's so many. You speak to these 30-year-olds, and it's like, oh, I've never wanted to learn to drive. What?
Yeah, I don't know how they get around if they don't drive.
What's wrong with you? Get out of my face.
Get out my face. And then Becky says Series 1 RS Turbo. I assume that's what Becky had bring back from 1984.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually quite a good call, actually.
It's interesting. Ford. So a lot of people have gone Ford.
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting?
Maybe that's because they cost so much nowadays.
They do, don't they?
Well, we've run out of comments, which I think is quite a good time to stop.
Yes, I probably should be driving home fairly soon. I want to go because these glasses are useless in the dark. As Simon found out last night when I kept braking in front of him. So.
Yeah, well, enough about last night.
Oh my god. You'll see. There'll be a video out on my channel later. I don't know when you're putting your video out, but yeah, we had a bit of a. Yes, this weekend hasn't gone to plan.
It hasn't, has it?
This was very much a spur of the moment.
And it was a good idea, Rob. Well done.
Thank you.
You do have some sometimes.
Once in a... well, just once.
Just
once, actually, isn't it? Yeah.
So don't forget to click like, subscribe, leave a comment, share with your friends, and share with your local taxidermist.
American billionairess Doris McWinky.
Doris McWinky.
Yeah.
You sure they're a hairess?
Yeah.
Heiress.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, folks. Bye-bye.